For 50 years, this story was quietly changing lives, and almost no one noticed until now. Because this time, it wasn't a policy announcement. It wasn't a royal ceremony. It wasn't even a speech written by advisors. It was a moment where King Charles III, a man known for restraint, tradition, and control, sat down and struggled to hold back tears. Not for a crown, not for a power, but for something he never expected to become this big. In a newly released video message, the 77-year-old monarch looks back on half a century of work by the King's Trust. And what stands out immediately is not the statistics, not the legacy, not the history, it's the emotion. Because, as Charles himself admits, when he started this project in 1976, he had no idea what it would become. No idea how far it would reach. No idea how many lives it would touch. Back then, he wasn't a king. He was a young Prince of Wales, living in a Britain hit by record unemployment, rising inflation, and a generation of young people who felt invisible and forgotten. With money from his naval severance pay, he made a decision that most people at his level never make. Instead of protecting his comfort, he took a risk. He created a trust with one simple idea. If you give young people confidence, skills, and a chance, they will surprise you. At the time, even he hoped it might help a few people. Maybe change a handful of lives. What followed was something no one could have predicted. Fast forward 50 years, more than 1.3 million young people supported. Thousands got it back into education. Sustainable jobs created. Over 92,000 young people helped to start their own businesses in the UK alone. But numbers don't explain why his voice cracks in that video. Because behind every statistic is a person who was once stuck. Someone who didn't believe in themselves. Someone who needed one moment of trust before they could move forward. And that's what overwhelms him. In his words, he says he's immensely proud and deeply moved by what the trust has become. He talks about young people not as a problem to be solved, but as potential waiting to be unlocked. And then he says something that matters right now more than ever. Challenges change. Times change. But the spirit and resilience of young people do not. That belief has guided the trust for 5 decades, and according to Charles, it will continue to guide it long after this anniversary passes. He closes the message with gratitude to the staff, the volunteers, the supporters who believed when belief wasn't popular, and he makes a quiet promise that the trust will continue standing beside young people as they enter the working world, face uncertainty, and try to build a future that feels worth chasing. In the coming days, a detailed report on the Trust's social impact will be released. A major celebration is planned for May 11th, 2026 at the Royal Albert Hall, and even a special commemorative coin series will be issued by the Royal Mint. But none of that is why this moment matters. It matters because it reminds us that real legacy isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention. And it isn't built overnight. Sometimes it starts with one decision made quietly 50 years ago. And sometimes even a king is surprised by what happens when you choose to invest in people instead of power. If this story changed the way you see success, legacy, or the impact one idea can have, make sure you stay with us. Subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications, because the stories behind power, fame, and influence are often more human than you think. And this was one of them.